For the past several months, I've been trying to focus on improving how I pray the rosary. And I admit in the past, I've just kind of done it very rote and not putting a lot of meaning into it. But I'm trying to focus and really contemplate the mystery and the story of the Bible about the rosary. And since then, I've been focusing on it and I've had many new insights about it. For example, you know the joyful mysteries of the Rosary, um, where we focus on Mary's story of her pregnancy, where she meets Elizabeth and then has Jesus. Well, I realized that those events taking place were really uneventful. And by that, I mean that, yes, those were God's works, God's miracles happening. But at that time, nobody else in all the land realized what God was doing. So let me give you another example. When we look at the Bible, we read the story about Jesus' birth. We see where the angel comes to meet Mary and asks her to be a mother, and she agrees. So Mary is pregnant with Jesus, and her cousin Elizabeth at the same time is pregnant with John the Baptist. And when they meet, the baby jumps in Elizabeth's belly with joy. So that's kind of interesting. And in today's gospel, it speaks about how Joseph was a little thrown off by the fact that Mary was pregnant and didn't want anything to do with it and was going to walk away, but the angel told him to stay. So he did. And then Mary and Joseph were looking for a place for her to give birth, and they couldn't find a place. So they gave birth in a stable. All of these different events or works by God that were happening, nobody else noticed. People just went on with their lives unaware of these works of God and these events taking place. And I realize that God, when He works through people, tends to do it in a very mysterious, quiet way, in such a way that people don't notice. Even to this day, when He's working through people, He continues to do so in that fashion. And the people that God uses for His works and His miracles are usually people that are humble and simple, not well known or famous. So, not that we're not famous or powerful people or anything in the world. Of course we're not, but still, God tends to use each of us to do His works. We can do His work for Him. And often we see things happening and we don't see them as important. Other people may not notice our service or our work for God, and we keep doing it and we think this isn't worth it. But we have to trust God that He knows what He's doing and allow Him to work through us. Because while we may not think what we're doing now is important, it is all part of God's plan in the future, and we have to trust Him. And sometimes we may not understand what God wants. Just like in the gospel, Joseph didn't understand how Mary could get pregnant and didn't want to stay with her. And then the angel came and told him to stay with her. So he could have just discounted the angel and left, but he decided to stay and marry her and raise Jesus. Joseph wasn't able to see all the miracles and the good works that Jesus did as an adult because he died before Jesus was an adult. So he raised Jesus, and it was so important how he did because later on Jesus went on to do wonderful works. And sometimes we don't know how what we do is going to impact other people. And we just have to trust God and that He will help us here and now. Thank you, and God bless you.